Afternoon and welcome once again to the Mayor's Weekly Press Conference. It's the 25th of October and it is absolutely miserable outside right now. It's about 47 degrees and if anyone who's out there, you know it's showers on and off. Tomorrow, on the other hand, is going to be sunny, a high of 56, a low of 37. So we're kind of in this up and down trough period. Friday it's going to be 70. A low of 45, and then into Saturday, it's looking like 90% rain, a high of 55, a low of 33. And then Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high of 46 and a low of 31. So it's rather interesting out there, but welcome to fall. We're going to really kind of launch into everything Halloween at this point in my press conference. I want to start with a couple things, and then I'm going to turn to those who are here with me today. I've got Police Chief Tom Pyle, who's here, also Jonathan Holmberg and Brandon Thompson, who are here for Safe and Clean Halloween, and to talk about some of the festivities for this weekend. But to start with, we have the citywide trick-or-treat as well as Halloween game night. Trick-or-treating, I know there's been a lot out there that's kind of been I think mistakenly put out there, or some some typos or whatever. But Halloween in the neighborhoods is 5:30 to 6:30, and then at the community center from 7 to 9 p.m. there's the Halloween parade as well as game nights. And to accompany that, Boone Troyer, who is our child program specialist at the community center, has asked for people to donate things. Donations needed for a Halloween game night. Some of those things are, they're expecting about 700 attendees. If anyone would like to make a donation of some type, it doesn't actually have it in here, but in terms of what exactly they're looking for, possibly money donation. But if you do have games or anything that you want to bring down, that would be great, or maybe enhance the prizes that are being given out that night. I would recommend you reach out to Boone Troyer at the community center and see what you can do to donate to the festivities up at the community center. So again, 5:30 to 6:30 across the city in terms of trick-or-treating on Thursday, October 26th. I may have failed to mention that, but it's tomorrow night. Now we're going to dive into Halloween. The Halloween block party, again, this is Saturday the 28th. It's going to have several things going on throughout that whole time period. One I want to mention real quick before we kind of dive into some specifics about the Halloween block party is that the Honey for the Heart Parade is going to take place again this year. I think this is probably the fourth year running,
at least,
third or fourth.
Yeah.
You know, Patty Mitchell has really kind of spearheaded this and will continue on. For that, for anyone who's interested in donning a costume, whether it's a rather large puppet or maybe even something simple, more simple, there's lots of costumes that are going to be up there. Central Venue is where a lot of the staging is taking place, but I believe, as in last year, a lot of the costumes will be behind Central Venue in the Fern Alley area, because that's where the parade will start. They're stepping off at 6. They're asking for anyone who wants to participate in the parade to arrive between 5 and 5:30 to get a costume on. Stepping off at 6. The parade this year will go all the way from Fern down to Union, and then it will turn back on itself and come back to Fern. And then after that, this is kind of cool this year, which is different from past years, is they're having a Halloween costume ball. And this is taking place in Central Venue. I don't have the times for that, but I would imagine that when the parade's over, the ball starts. So that'll be taking place as well. Some of the things about the block party itself, the parking will be removed from the uptown area early Saturday morning, so please make sure that your cars are not in that area and to avoid the risk of being towed out of the area. Street closing begins at 8 a.m. The streets included will be Court Street from President to Carpenter, State Street from Congress to Mill, Mill from college, state to college. Washington from Congress to college. Hope you guys are memorizing this stuff. From college to Union Street, and Union Street from Congress to college. Again, that's kind of the large swath. In other words, I would advise everyone to kind of just steer clear of the uptown area unless you're there to partake in the events that will be happening in the uptown area. I also want to, before I start reaching out to my colleagues up here tonight, some of the things, there's a whole sheet out there in terms of guidelines for university students and visitors who will be in the uptown area for the block party. Some things that are worth noting. Costumes. Don't choose a costume that includes anything that is or could be used as or confused as a weapon. Good thing to keep in mind. And do not choose a costume that appears to impersonate a law enforcement officer or simulate law enforcement activities, such as someone directing traffic or whatever. Because we have a large contingency of law enforcement that will be in the uptown area, assisting with making it a safe environment for all those who are going to be attending. At this point, I want to kind of introduce Jonathan and Brandon. Jonathan,
36 years of
Father
this is my
Halloween.
36th Halloween as an OU student or as a coordinator. This is 36 out of the, I think, 41 that we've.
41 years strong.
Yeah, so I've been to most of them as a participant or an organizer, and it's great to see how much it's changed. I'd like to thank the City of Athens for letting us partner with them to make this as safe and clean an environment for our guests as we can. I'd like to thank the Safety Department as well. Paula Mosley does a great job, her and Ron Lucas, and of course Chief Pyle, who I've known a long time, who's been a police officer now, the chief, and he's seen probably more Halloweens than I have from a different perspective, but just stress that this is a partnership between the city and volunteers who come together every Halloween to try to share with our guests and the local residents our experience and just what we do to try to make this a safer and more inviting environment for people who might come to Athens to enjoy this. And it's changed quite a bit over the years, and we do again have two stages, one at either end of the town at Court and Union, and then up at the other, what they call the north end of town, up by Courtside Pizza, I think is where we're going to be located, by Cornwell Jewelers. But this is a partnership with the city administration. The local businesses chip in and make this all possible, and we work hand in hand with the city on this, and we've been real happy that to get the cooperation we've had over the years. It wasn't always like that, and it's refreshing to see everybody come together to work for a common goal of safety. So I am going to be running the band stage at the north end of town, featuring 4 bands, starting at 6 o'clock and running till 12:30, closing promptly at 12:30. And the other end of town, I'm going to turn it over to Brandon Thompson. He's running the Slip-In.
Yeah, the Slip and Fly Fest stage.
Slip and Fly.
So we have a new sponsor. Like Jonathan said, we run strictly on sponsorship. So I just want to let people know, Slip and Fly Fest in Mansfield, Ohio. Check it out. I've been there the last 2 years. It's a giant slip and slide. It's a lot of fun. But they'll be sponsoring our stage, which is the South Stage by Union and Court. It's been termed the DJ stage. We'll have a band up there as well, but we have 10 acts going on drag time. Music will start at 6. That'll go until 12:30 as well. So it's been a lot of fun. We will also have the costume contest at that stage like we've had. That'll start at 9. Anybody who wants to be judged, please be at the stage by 8. We'll have winners for best male, best female, and best group costume like we've had in years past. So yeah, we're really excited to do this. Weather's looking a little iffy, but I've seen snow, I've seen rain, haven't seen lightning yet, so we'll keep that. But but speaking on what the mayor was saying about costumes, wear a costume. Yeah. That's something I've been noticing. People want to see what's going on at Halloween, but wear a costume. You can buy, just put a sheet on like Michael Myers from Halloween or something, but wear a costume. Don't just come uptown and look around and just be a bystander. Be part of the party. There's the ball, which they will have the wild honeybees at Central Venue as well. So there's a lot going on. And one thing that just happened literally right before this meeting, I talked to Patty Mitchell about having some of their art on our stage, and I think that's going to happen this year. So we're really excited to kind of just dress up the stage. I mean, if you haven't seen the Honey for the Heart Parade, it's like Mardi Gras. So we'd like to get more visibility. So we'll have some of that art on our stages, this year.
And Brandon, if you would, just so I can say you've seen it here first, if you'd stand up and show,
Sure.
at least so we get it on camera, the new design for this year. I'm assuming, and I think I'm right to assume this,
there we
that's
go.
another
Kevin Morgan
original, yep.
designed through Uptown Dog T-shirts. These are available through the Uptown Dog. You can get them online or go to the stores in 10 West. Is that the other?
Yep, that's
across
second
the street.
location.
10
yep.
West is another location where you can purchase them as well. But yeah, it's quite a crazy design. We're real happy about being involved with Kevin Morgan Studios. He does a lot of the artwork in the Athens area as well as nationally. As he does product logos and Paw Paw Fest and you name it, he's got a hand in it. So we're real proud to have him as an Athens resident contributing to the Halloween bash.
Once again, Kevin knocks it out of the park, as
Absolutely.
he usually does.
Absolutely.
Chief Pyle, would you like to speak on the Halloween block party?
Well, I guess probably the most important thing to draw out for this year is that given worldwide events of late, we have certainly developed security plans that we won't discuss prior to the event, but there will be noticeable enhancements to our security plan this year in an attempt to hopefully prevent any kind of event from happening that would be tragic. We would ask people to be patient and understand that the plans we are implementing are strictly for public safety. And we won't comment about it much beyond that. We expect an event. This will be my 31st, all told. A few years with a different agency assisting with Halloween, and then this will be my 29th or 30th, I think 29th, with the Athens City Police Department. And being a lifelong resident, I've actually been here for all of them. And my dad was a police officer, and so my experience with the first few Halloweens was my mother would cook food for police officers, and so I would be with her to bring the food into town while the very first few were happening in the 70s. So I've been around for all of them. So Jonathan and I have quite the history. Almost 80 years of Halloweens between the two of us. So.
It's amazing.
We expect a similar event. I think weather will be a driving factor as it was last year. If it truly is raining throughout much of the day, I think we'll see lower attendance. But those that will be here will certainly have typical Halloween spirit. So, I don't know what to say beyond that other than I can answer questions.
Any questions from the press who's here with us today in regards to Halloween and the Halloween block party?
Not the block party.
Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate you.
Chief Pyle, good luck.
All right. Moving on. Other things, Halloween is the Ayuba Uptown Trick or Treat, which is going to be Monday, October 30th. This is from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Again, parking will be removed from Court Street between Union and Carpenter, Washington between Congress and College, State between Congress and Mill between State and College at approximately 2. The same streets will be closed completely at 5:30. So for that event, again, this is put on by the Uptown Business Association. So, and we're expecting, once again, a rather large group of youth in the Uptown area, because for that particular event, and looking at my calendar, or at least the calendar of weather, it's going to be 53 is the high, a low of 34, partly cloudy that Monday. So should be pretty decent for that event. The other thing I want to go back just briefly about the Honey for the Heart Parade. One of the things that's so cool about Honey for the Heart Parade is we are seeing more and more families and young individuals coming up just to watch. And so it's a great thing, because I think traditionally in the past, the Halloween block party is something where everyone just kind of stayed away from like the plague. But with this Honey for the Heart parade has really kind of changed the environment, at least in that 6 to 8 p.m. time frame. So I encourage anyone who's interested to come out and experience it. Again, it's like going to the Caribbean to Carnival. It's a rather fun environment. The only other item that I have for today is that Engineering and Public Works, one of the waterline project is the Avon Place and Dalton Avenue project. The contractor is expecting to begin testing the new water line this week from October 30th, and will begin beginning installation of new service lines once that test has been completed of the water main through that area. So again, that project is moving along nicely, and again, we apologize for any inconveniences that residents may have in that area, but at the end of the day, it will provide you with a new water main and a newly resurfaced street. That concludes all the items that I have today. And again, as was briefly mentioned earlier, we have someone from the media. If you just indicate who you are and what newspaper you report for.
I'm Taylor Heddleson, and I report for the Post.
Okay. So Taylor, and she's reporting for the Post. What questions do you have?
Going back to Halloween, Honey for the Heart, you said it makes it more family friendly during that time frame. Are there any plans that you know of to make it further more family friendly?
Well, I don't know if this year, because I'm really not tracking as to whether they're going to have any bouncy houses, inflatables in the uptown area. I think they had for the past couple of years. There was some more family-friendly areas in the uptown area during the Halloween block party, at least up to a certain point in time, and then they were removed for obvious reasons. But the Honey for the Heart parade, I can speak to my own experience, and that is that I've got twin 5.5-year-old daughters, and they will typically, my wife and I take them down there, and they put on costumes, and they walk up and down. And the funny thing is they, as they're walking in the parade, tend to see all their classmates who are standing watching the festivities go by. So by that I mean it's family friendly. We're seeing not only more younger kids or children that are in the parade, we're also seeing more families with their children watching the parade going back and forth. I've got Scott Thompson in the audience, and it seems to me that I've seen Scott down there for Honey for the Heart. Scott also has children. And so I'm not speaking for you, but I think I saw you. Okay, so Scott has been there as well. So that, I think, is a big change from the past. Will there continue to be? I certainly hope so. Like I mentioned, this is probably the 4th year that Honey for the Heart has had the parade in the uptown area.
That's all I had.
That's the only question you have?
Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, I am hoping that everyone who does partake in the Uptown Block Party, Halloween Block Party, that, be safe, be civil, look out for each other. If you're going to partake in the Uptown Block Party and you see something that just doesn't seem right to you, don't be a passive bystander, be an active bystander, and reach out to there's going to be a large number of police officers in the uptown area. Find one and tell them, indicate to them that you're seeing something that just doesn't look right to you, doesn't look like a safe environment, or if you observe something happening that, again, to you doesn't seem to be safe, let them know. They're not going to sit there and arrest you for anything. They're certainly there to make sure that everything is safe. I'm speaking to the law enforcement, so reach out to them. But don't just stand there and do nothing. You're better off being proactive than not doing anything at all. So I share that with everyone. And for the rest of you, it's interesting to come up and see the festivities and engage in the festivities, but I think for a lot of us in the city of Athens, it's also equally fun just to stay home. So I just share that with everyone. And I want to wish everyone a happy and fruitful week, rest of the week and weekend. And tune in next week for the next installment of Mayor's Weekly Press Conference. Take care.